there's three key things. Number one, very, very important, is the ability to network. Obviously, it's been very tough in the last 15, 16 months to do that for obvious reasons. Now the world is actually seemingly moving out of all of these lockdown restrictions and opening up. It's a perfect opportunity for you to network. So it's not just about doing it online via LinkedIn. It's about actually going and meeting people, introducing yourself, because you never know how that's going to help you. You could strike the right chord, right note with somebody that you meet, and in future that could help you land the job that you need and help you progress your career.
Finance manager role is actually one of the most difficult in the finance team. It's where you're stepping up from not just doing your own day-to-day work, but you're now starting to look after a team around you, and that demand on your time is a huge drain. So I think you really need to be able to balance the two and look for as much support from those around you, your FD, your financial controller, etc., to support you through that period of transition and to get the maximum you can from your team members.
As a finance manager, you need to really focus on adding value to your business. Make sure they know that you're not just a finance person. Always volunteer for the project work, even if it's not always that exciting, because it'll still give you a lot more insight into the wider business and then help you come up with future ideas of how you can add value. But it's all about adding value. Focus on that massively.
You've got to keep abreast of the latest economic developments and business developments. You're working in a financial role. It's very important that you understand the context you're working in, not just because it helps you do your role, but because you've got to understand how it impacts on a potential employer, future employer that you want to work for. So very, very important you keep up to date with all of those things. Read the financial press, watch the news, a very, very important thing to do.
The main advice I would give is looking outside the role. So it's looking at company strategy, because where the company is going is a key factor in what information you provide. So you need to look at KPIs, you need to look at the sort of information that you're providing to the managers who are deciding and helping the company to go where it's going. So you need to look beyond the borders of the finance department, but then take that information that you learn and bring it back to the finance department and help it grow and help it provide better information.
Two things I put here. I said, I think first thing is be clear on what role you want. Because, you know, sort of, do you want to be a reporting type person? Do you want to be a forecasting type person? You're interested in treasury? By the time you get to that level, you should have a level of experience that sort of means you have a broader view of what's going on, and you need to be pretty clear on where you want to where you want to go, because otherwise you'll get put in a role you don't really want, and all of a sudden you spend another 3-4 years in that, and it's sort of you can miss the boat. And the other bit of advice I give them is, you haven't got an accounting qualification, you've got to get one.
Being a finance manager, so you'll manage a small team, whereas a financial controller will manage a larger team. So I would expect that a finance manager, instead of just like wearing blinkers, you know, they need to start looking a bit above in the business, trying to ensure that they are starting to query and challenge the business as well. So because I will expect that, you know, from a finance manager to becoming a financial controller to becoming a finance director, there are various steps involved. You know, you have the management of the function, you have a management of a team, and the management of a business. So what I will say is, being a finance manager, you're managing principally a function of finance, but you need to start managing the team and ultimately managing other sides of a business in terms of reporting as well.
I say, you know, record what you've done, let your manager and other people know, so remind them of the good things that you've done, the improvements that you've made. Try to sell yourself, so when it comes to that sort of next stage in your career and an opportunity comes up, you'll be first in their mind.
You should also be thinking, how can I add value with the role that I'm doing, and how can that add value to the company that I'm working for? Again, a very good example that I've used when I've spoken about many different roles is, if you think about a particular task that you're being asked to do, don't just think about getting the task done itself. Think about what extra you can do on top of that that's going to help the person that you're doing that particular task for. What added value can you do? A good example that I've used in previous roles is the preparation of a cash flow forecast, for example. Whether you're doing the whole thing or whether you're actually doing a bit of it, think about what value you can add. What can I do to help the person that I'm doing this piece of work for, so that they actually get the most out of it. So that's a very important thing as well.